Hello, lads and lasses. Welcome to BRIGADOON. I do have some reminders you must follow to join us at the fair. First, please turn off cell phones and other electronic devices as they don't exist. Second, refrain from taking photos and video recording, whatever that is. Third, please locate the nearest exit to you in case of emergency. Fourth, BRIGADOON emerges from the mist, so there will be heavy fog at this performance, and I'm not just talking about my brain. Fifth and final, please sit back, relax, and enjoy BRIGADOON.
Here, let me see the map. Here's Auchentour.
I remember that should be on the left. And I don't remember.
It is. And here's Braymore.
Should be on the right.
It is. Now where the hell are we?
What's in the middle?
Nothing.
That's where we are.
In nothing?
Yes. And as for a fellow of my potentialities, this is an ideal location. We'll find our way out when the sun comes up.
Fine couple of hikers we are. We come all the way out here from New York, and on the first day we get lost.
Maybe we took the high road instead of the low road. Would you like a drink?
No thanks.
Good. Leaves more for me.
I thought you told me you were going to cut down on that stuff.
Yeah, I did. But I'm a terrible liar. Besides, it doesn't pay. I remember one time I was going with a beautiful gal, and she used to plead with me to give it up. So, one day I did. And then I realized we had nothing more to talk about. So we broke up.
Something about this place makes me feel like we're in a cathedral.
Well, if we were, I'd know where the exit was.
You don't believe in anything, do you?
Of course I do.
Really? What?
Anything I can understand. You know, anything that's real to me. Things I could touch, taste, hear, see, smell, and swallow.
That makes everything very easy, doesn't it?
Comfortable is the word.
I envy you, Jeff.
Why?
Because you seem to be very satisfied.
I am. Aren't you?
No, I'm not.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. You got a fine job and you're engaged to a fine girl. What's more, you're lost in a fine forest. What else could you want?
I don't know, but something seems wrong, especially about me and Jane. And that makes everything else seem wrong. See how I postponed getting married? I just can't get myself to that altar.
I don't know what could be so wrong about it. She's young, attractive, fits smack into your niche of life. And what's more, she loves you. And just the proper amount, too.
What's the proper amount?
Enough to make you happy and not enough to embarrass you in front of your friends.
It looks ideal, doesn't it? But what am I not seeing? I must be lacking somewhere.
Now don't start talking yourself into inferiority. You don't deserve it.
What do you mean?
Well, most of my friends who have inferiority complexes are absolutely right. They're not.
Wait a minute. Do you hear that?
Huh?
Look over there.
Looks like a village.
It is.
But I thought you said there were no towns listed on the map around here.
I did. See where the village is? There's a peculiar heavy fog all around it.
And there's no mist in the valley.
Only around the village. Hey, let's walk over to it. Can't be too far from here. Come on.
Wait till Rand McNally hears about this.
Let's
come selling there at the fair, laddie. Come ye to the fair, ale for sale or barter there at the fair, laddie.
Ale for sale or barter there at the square, laddie. Come on ye down.
Come ye from the hill.
Golden clock I'm selling there at the square, laddie. Come ye from the mill. Come on ye there.
Come ye to the fair.
Come ye, all ye everywhere to the fair. Come ye from the hills. Come ye from the mills. Come ye in the glen. Come ye there. Come ye there. Come ye from the loom. Come from pale and blue. Hear ye everywhere. Don't you care? There's a fair down on the Carnegie Square. Come to Sandy here. Come over to Sandy's good. I'm selling this sweetest candy here that ever should lose a tune. I eat it myself and there's no doubt it's creamy and good and thick. So laddies, I hope you'll buy me out. It's making me kinda sick. Come ye from the loom. Come from pail and broom. Hear ye everywhere. Don't you care? There's a fair. Come ye from the loom. Come ye there. Come ye from the pail and broom. Hear ye everywhere. Don't you care? There's a fair down on the Carnegie Square.
Salted meat I'm selling there at the fair, laddie.
Come on ye there. Here for sale or barter
Clothes I'm selling there
there
at the fair, laddie.
Come on ye there.
Come on ye there.
Come ye to the fair. I'm selling out winter milk and cream. Come sip it and ye will vow that this is the finest milk and cream that ever came out a cow. The finest it is, the price is small. The milk and the cream are lack. There's nothing to do but sell it all. The cow wanna take it back. All you got for me is from the hills. All you got for me is from the hills. All you got for me is the glen. Come ye there, come ye there. Come ye from the wood. Come from pale and blue. Hear ye everywhere. Don't you care? There's a fair down on the Carnegie Square.
Woolens, plaids,
Heathers,
fine woolens. I just got a new waistcoat. Woolens, plaids, come get 'em. Woolens. Come, Hetty. Put down your book and help your father. You may even get a like the weaving business.
I'll never like the weaving business, father, and you know it well.
Try, lad. Go tell McGuffey we need some eggs. I'll give him enough wool for a pair of trousers for enough eggs for dinner. Good morning to you, Mr. McLadden.
Good day, Archie.
And good morning to your two bonny daughters.
Good morning, Mr. Beaton.
And what would you be looking for, Miss Fiona?
A waistcoat for my father for the wedding.
Why, of course.
You and young Charlie Dalrymple are getting married this evening, aren't you, Miss Jean?
Aye, Mr. Beaton.
Well, if you had to choose someone other than my son Harry, I'm glad it's a lad as fine as Charlie.
Aye, Mr. Beaton.
You must be happy as a lark in the glen.
Aye, Mr. Beaton.
As you see, Mr. Beaton, Jean is a wee bit short of words today.
Father says I shouldn't talk too much. He says when I speak I sound so happy that he finds it annoying.
Is that what you said, Mr. Platten?
I did, Archie. Besides, when a lass gets married, she must get used to listening and not talking.
I don't think Charlie will have trouble with Miss Jean here. She's a good maiden.
Archie, all maidens are good. So then tell me, where do all the bad wives come from? Friends, Mr. Lundy has written upon this parchment a few reminders. He's asked me to hang it in the town square where y'all can see it and be reminded.
Aye.
Today is the second day of our blessing, and so is to remind you of the obligations we have so gratefully accepted.
Aye.
And so I shall hang it in the town square, as I told Mr. Lundy I would.
Your father likes to take charge of things, doesn't he, Miss Fiona?
Aye, especially after everything's been done. Would you have a waistcoat of this that would fit him?
I think so, Miss Fiona.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Jean.
How are you today?
How do you expect me to be? This is your wedding day, isn't it?
I'm truly sorry, Harry.
Well, don't be. If anybody's going to pity me, let it be me. Trapped forever without you in this peasant village.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Fiona. It just isn't fair for Charlie Dalrymple to be wedding you, Jean. He's got everything. A school in Edinburgh, and now you. And I got nothing.
Harry,
Excuse me.
what did McGuffey say?
I forgot.
Here, take this material to the house and see if there's a waistcoat of it there.
Nothing but to be doing that all my life.
And why didn't you speak to Maggie Anderson? You know she has a yearning for you.
Aye, Father.
Master Beaton, you don't hate me for not loving Harry, do you?
No, Miss Jean, it's not your fault. I sometimes think the only woman that could have loved Hattie was his mother, rest her soul.
Come, Jean, you're going to stay with your father today. And Fiona, you'll be certain to purchase everything that's needed for the wedding supper.
I will, Father.
Remember, just what's needed. My aim on this occasion is to be hospitable, not philanthropic. Come, Jean.
You'll send the waistcoat to the house, Mr. Beaton?
Aye, Miss Fiona.
Good morning, Fiona.
Hello, Meg. A jug of cream, please.
McGuffey'll be pleased. 'Tis the last boy in for a change.
Why?
When the lads come shopping, they look so handsome. I didn't like to ask them for money.
You'll never make a profit doing that.
No, but I make a lot of friends. Is this for the wedding tonight?
Aye.
Fiona, when are you going to start thinking about marriage for yourself?
Oh, when I find someone who makes me think of it.
And you haven't found anyone up till now who make you think of it?
No. You see, I didn't want to just get married. I think you should only do it when you and your lad want to stay together fiercely. And get married is the only way you can do it that's proper.
That's an unusual idea, Fiona.
Many a lassie, as everyone knows, will try to be married before 25. So she'll agree to most any proposal. All he must be is a man and alive. I hold a dream and there's no compromising. I know there's one certain laddie for me. One day he'll come walking o'er the horizon, and should he not, then an old maid I'll be.
Willens!
Fresh cream for sale.
Very much.
Hello?
Hello? Could anyone tell us where we are?
Of course we can tell you. You're in BRIGADOON.
Brigadoon?
Aye?
That's funny, there's no town called Brigadoon on the map.
I shouldn't be surprised.
You mean you know it isn't on the map?
Aye?
It's a little snobbish of you, don't you think?
Why isn't it on the map?
For good and sound reasons.
What are you all dressed up for? Is this the day you take pictures for postcards?
We're not dressed up.
You mean you always go around with those clothes on?
No.
Now, come on, somebody, what is this? What's going on?
We're having a fair.
Aye.
Oh. Is that milk you're selling there?
Aye.
Could I buy some? I've been walking all night and I'm very thirsty.
I'll have to see your money first.
What?
What'd you give him, a hunk of uranium?
Just a shilling. What a loony layout this is.
Tis very interesting, sir, but it does me no good.
Sell me something and it will.
I cannot sell you anything, but if you're thirsty, I'll give you some milk.
Never mind, I don't want any favors.
I see from the coin. You're from England.
No, we're from America.
You're Americans.
I am. He's from Wisconsin. Let's go.
No, wait, please. We didn't mean to act so strange. We're just a wee bit taken aback. People don't come here very often.
I can understand why. You people stare at us as if we just dropped in from another world. Does that amuse you?
Aye, very much.
Quiet, Meg.
Obviously, the daughter of two first cousins.
If you've been walking out all night, you must be tired and hungry. When you like some food to eat or a place where you can lie down and rest.
That's very nice of you, thank you.
Good. I'm Fiona McLaren.
Tommy Albright, and this is Jeff Douglas.
How do you do, sir?
I'm Meg Brokey.
I'm glad you're happy about it.
There's a tavern on the next street where you can get some food.
I'll take you to it.
Go ahead, Jeff, I'll call the inn first.
Excuse me, sir, but is Miss Meg here going to be taking care of you, sir?
Suppose so. Why?
Well, I have a pair of trousers here, and after you should leave the tavern, if Miss Meg here should take you somewhere to rest, and you rip your own, and this'll, I'd be more than happy to replace it for you.
Thanks, old man, but I don't plan on getting stuck.
Did not know it, laddie, but you are stuck now.
You tend to your selling, Mr. Baton.
Say, what a town. Is there a phone I could use?
A phone?
Yes.
I do not think we have one.
No phone?
No, sir.
Tell me, what's so strange about this place?
Nothing, sir. You're the one who's strange.
Charlie, here's a bottle of claret. Have a dram of good luck with me.
The merry bridegroom himself.
Bridegroom?
Aye.
Good morning, darling.
He's marrying my sister this evening.
Oh.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Charlie, I'd like you to meet Mr. Tommy Albright. He just happened in a little while ago.
What? Welcome to you, sir.
Thanks. Welcome to you.
Here's your dram, Charlie.
Thank you, McGuffey.
And how about you, sir? Some dram?
Thanks.
I think I'll drink this one to Mr. Forsyth. I just hope he knows how grateful I am for postponing the miracle for me.
Postponing the what?
And may God bless me this evening, as much as I would bless him if I were he. And he were, well, of Charles Dalrymple.
Aye!
What did you say about postponing a miracle?
'Tis a toast we have here.
Take it down. I'll explain it to you sometime.
Okay. Say, that's wonderful. May I have another?
That was a wedding gesture, sir. From now on, 'tis for sale only.
I must buy some claret and ale for the wedding. Come with me and you can have some more.
Fine.
Woolens! Plaids!
He's an odd lad, isn't he?
Aye, he has a very peculiar accent.
I wonder what American women must be like.
Well, I didn't wonder about women anymore, McGuffey. I'm not allowed to.
Why, that's right, Charlie. You're through with the lasses for good now, aren't you?
I used to be a roving lad, a roving and wandering life I had. On any lass I frowned who would try to tie me down. But then one day I saw a maid who held out her hand, and I stayed and stayed. And now across the green I'll go home with Bonnie Jean.
Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home.
I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. I used to have 100 friends, but when they are wedded the friendship ends. They never come to call, so farewell to one and all. Farewell to all the lads I knew, I'll see you again when you're married too. And now across the green I'll go home with Bonnie Jean.
Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home.
I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. In Edinburgh I used to know a lass with an inn, and her name was Jo. And every night at 10 I would meet her in the glen. But now I'll not see her again, especially not in the glen at 10. For soon I'll cross the green, I'll go home with Bonnie Jean.
Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home.
I'll go home with Bonnie Jean. Hello to married men I've known, I'll soon have a wife and leave yours alone. A bonny wife indeed, and she's all I'll ever need. With Bonnie Jean my days will fly, and love her I will till the day I die. That's why across the green I'll go home with Bonnie Jean.
Go home, go home, go home with Bonnie Jean. Go home, go home.
I'll go home with Bonnie Jean.
Charlie, you wouldn't forget to come over this afternoon and sign the family Bible?
No, darling, I'll be over. Sir, I really hope you can stay for the wedding supper.
Thanks, but I won't be here that long.
'Tis a pity.
What are we going to do all afternoon, Charlie?
Rest, dearie, rest.
Seems like a nice kid.
Aye, he is that.
It's wonderfully refreshing to see fellows so enthusiastic about getting married.
It is so unusual.
I think it is. Look at me. I'm not bubbling over like Charlie, and next month I'm facing the minister.
You're getting married?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, what?
I'm just surprised. Somehow you didn't seem like the sort of lad who'd want to settle down.
I didn't say that, I just said I was getting married.
If you feel that way about it, then why are you?
Because the girl wants to.
And that's reason enough.
Sure. I don't know how it is in the Highlands, but where I come from, if you've been going with a woman for a while and she decides she wants to get married, you better agree right away and save yourself a lot of trouble.
Why?
Because she'll either torment you so you'll marry her for relief, or she'll be so sweet about it your conscience will make you do it.
I must say, it doesn't sound like you love her very much.
It doesn't, does it?
And it also sounds like a very peculiar land you come from.
Well, believe me, lass, this isn't the usual Hamlet off the highway either. What was that business about Charlie and the man who postponed the miracle?
Oh, that. I'm sorry, I cannot say.
But you said you'd tell me later.
I know, but I cannot say.
That's fine. You know, if I stick around here long enough, maybe I'll discover that everybody in this town is slightly nutty. Is that possible?
I cannot say.
Why not?
Because I don't know what nutty means.
It means slightly insane.
Well, then I can assure you we're all far from insane. We're a most blessed group of people, and I never realize how fortunate we are until I meet someone from the outside. I mean, a stranger to BRIGADOON. I didn't know anything about you, but from the little you said, everything you think, I think differently about. And I'm also quite certain that what I think is much more, well, pleasant. No, I'm sorry I said all that, but you angered me when you called us insane.
Hey, you don't like me very much, do you?
That's the odd part. I like you very much. I just didn't like anything you say.
Fiona?
Aye?
If I stick around here today, would you take me to the wedding this evening?
Why do you suddenly want to go?
I cannot say.
Well then, I'll take you. And I'll be highly pleased to do so.
Really? Why?
Because of what I just told you. I like you very much.
That's right, you did say that, didn't you?
Well, let's find you a place where you can lie down and rest.
What are you gonna do?
Gather some heather for the wedding.
Where do you do that?
On the hill. Where the heather is.
Could I come with you?
Oh, no, I'll do it much faster alone.
Oh, really? I won't bother you. Maybe I'm the one who's slightly nutty, but... Can't we two go walking together out beyond the valley of trees, out where there's a hillside of heather curtsying gently in the breeze? That's what I'd like to do, see the heather, but with you. The mist of May is in the gloaming, and all the clouds are holding still. So take my hand and let's go roaming through the heather on the hill. The morning dew is blinking yonder. There's lazy music in the rail, and all I want to do is wander through the heather on the hill. There may be other days as rich and rare. There may be other springs as full and fair. But they won't be the same. They'll come and go. For this I know, that when the mist is in the gloaming and all the clouds are holding still, if you're not there, I won't go roaming through the heather on the hill. The heather on the hill.
See, you can say nice things when you want to.
It almost sounded like I was making love to you, didn't it?
Oh. Well, I believe there's a difference between making love and just being sentimental because you're tired.
Is that what I'm being? Sentimental because I'm tired?
I believe so. But it's very agreeable. The mist of May's in the gloaming, and all the clouds are holding still. So take my hand and we'll go roaming through the heather on the hill. The morning dew's blinking yonder. There's lazy music in the reel. It is so lovely a time to wander through the heather on the hill. There may be other days as rich and rare. There may be other springs as full and fair. But they won't be the same. They'll come and go.
For this I know, that when the mist is in the gloaming
And all the clouds are holding still.
and all the clouds are holding
If
still,
you're not there, I won't go roaming
through the heather on the hill, the heather on the hill. What's that?
We have a storm here every now and then. I'll get my basket and we'll be off.
It's a very picturesque view of the glen.
Thank you.
What for?
Why, for liking where I brought you. It makes me very happy.
You get happy very easily, don't you?
Aye.
You know, I haven't been in an open shed like this since I was a young boy, which by now seems a good 200 years ago.
You'd mean you're tired?
Aye, lassie, I'm tired. That's why you brought me here, right? So I could take a nap?
I shouldn't think a long walk would fatigue a young lad like you.
A young lad?
Aye, you're very young.
That's either a deliberate lie or wishful thinking. I'm ancient, decrepit, and disintegrating rapidly.
Aye?
Ooh, what's under here? A rock garden?
My father used to sleep on it.
That was the second mistake.
He and my mother met in this shed. You see, my mother was a gypsy.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, she was walking past this shed, and she saw my father asleep on the cot. She was a wee bit tired anyhow, so she took off her shoes, sat in the rocking chair, and waited for him to wake up. And it wasn't long after that I was born.
That's one of the sweetest bedtime stories I've ever heard.
Are you sure you're comfortable?
Very. Thank you very much. You've been more than kind. And now if you'd like to round up your generosity, buzz off.
You're a braw and handsome lad.
You should see me when I'm rested. I'm almost robust.
I just hate to leave you.
Oh, you better. When I sleep, I make all sorts of odd noises.
Well, who told you? Do you have a wife?
No, but I was engaged once.
What happened to the last you were engaged to?
She married a Russian.
A Russian?
Yes.
Russia's in Europe, isn't it?
Yes, more and more.
Oh.
It's not far from here. You just cross the channel and turn left.
Aye, you're a winning lad. All right, winning lad.
Now look, lass, I'm not sure what you're after, but I don't want to. I want to go to sleep.
But didn't you see? I'm highly attracted to you.
Thank you very much. And when I wake up, we'll discuss the whole problem. And believe me, you have a problem.
And when I look at you lying there on the cot, I feel little tadpoles jumping on me spine.
That's about as repulsive an idea as I've heard in years. You know, if sex were a hobby, you'd be a collector's item.
But I've been waiting for so long.
Go!
Aye, you men are all alike.
I should certainly hope so.
You get what you want from a lass, then 'tis farewell.
Get what I want. I can't even get you to go away.
That's what I'm referring to. I thought you let me take you here because you were interested in me. You misled me.
You certainly have one hell of an imagination. Can you think of one good reason why I, a strange man, would be interested in you, a strange woman, and at this hour of the day?
Of course I can. Because you're a lad and I'm a lass.
With that philosophy, you must have led a provocative career.
Aye, I've had many great heartbreaks.
I don't doubt that at all.
At 16 years I was blue and sad. Then father said I should find a lad. So I set out to become a wife and found the real love of my life. His name, it was Chris, and the last was McGill. I met him one night picking flowers on the hill. He had lots of charm and a certain kind of touch and a certain kind of eagerness that pleased me very much. So then, neath the moon where romance often springs, I gave him my heart and a few other things. I don't know how long that I stayed upon the hill, but the moon had disappeared and so had Christopher McGill. So I went home and I thought I'd die, till father said make another try. So out I went to become a wife and found the real love of my life. He came from the lowlands, said he. I saw him and knew he was perfect for me. Just one thing that puzzled me, and it always will, was he told me he had heard about me from his friend McGill. We quick fell in love and went down by the creek. He said the next day he'd be back in a week, and I thought he would, for now how was I to know that of all the lowland laddies there was never one as low? I told my father the awful truth. He said, what difference you got your youth? So out I went mad to be a wife and find the real love of my life. Oh, he was a poet, a rhymer was he. He read me some verse he had written for me. He said they would move me, these poems from his pen, and how right he was because they moved me right into the glen. We stayed till the dawn came and light hit the sky. Then I shook his hand and I bid him goodbye. I never went back, for what I had heard was true, that a poet only writes about the things he cannot do. My pa said, look out for men who think. You'll be more certain with men who drink. So out I went to become a wife and find the real love of my life. Oh, he was a soldier, a fine Highland son. He told me about all the battles he'd won. He wasted his time telling me about his might, for one look at him decided me to not put up a fight. We skirmished for hours that night in the glen, and I found the sword has more might than the pen. But when I was drowsing, I swore to my dismay, and he thought it was a bugle and got up and marched away. My pa said, "Daughter, there must be one, someone who's true or too old to run." So I'm still looking to be a wife and find the real love of my life.
Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Pack all her clothes, tonight away she goes. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. The town knows tonight away she goes. Once with all the clothes, all the these and those. Why do you suppose Jeannie never froze? Hankies for her nose, ribbons for her bows, cotton for her hose, slippers for her toes. Back all her clothes tonight, away she goes. Psst, psst. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Pack all her clothes tonight, away she goes. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. Jeannie's packing up, Jeannie's moving out. The town all knows tonight, away she
I, Charles Macpherson Dalrymple, founder of a new clan.
I know, Charlie. You're not supposed to see Jeannie afore the wedding. It brings bad luck.
Really, sir?
Here is the Bible. Take it and sign it right under the name of my dear departed wife.
I brought your waistcoat.
Thank you, Harry. 'Tis good to see ya. Wait a minute, lad.
What for?
Why didn't you take my hand? I'm not your enemy.
You may not mean to be, but you are. So is everyone else in this town.
What is it, lad? Why do you go about hating everyone?
I couldn't get through this day of seeing her marry someone else if I don't. What can I do? What can anyone do but hate when you realize your life don't mean a damn? I can't leave here. Can't go to the university and make something of myself. And I can't have Jean. So there's nothing left to do but hate everything and everyone in this cursed town.
You'll never find any peace by hating, lad. It only shuts you off more from the world. And this is only a cursed town if you make it so. To the rest of us, this is a blessed place.
Well, you can keep it.
Well, I'm all done. And who is that?
My waistcoat came.
Oh, Jeannie.
Charlie, please go away. I want to come out.
Do not obey her, lad. You'll spoil her.
Oh, Jeannie. I can hardly wait for the wedding. Because they've told me I can't behold ye till wedding music starts playing. To ease my longing, there's nothing wrong in me standing out here and saying, just come to me, then to me, kiss me Darling, my darling, 'tis all I can say. Just come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Give me your lips and don't take them away.
Charlie, go away.
Come, dearie, near me so you can hear me. I've got to whisper this softly, for though I'm burning to shout my yearning, the words go tiptoeing off me. Just come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Darling, my darling, 'tis all I can say. Just come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. Give me your lips and don't take them away. Just come to me, bend to me, kiss me good day. 'cause they've told me I can't behold you till wedding music starts playing. To ease my longing, there's nothing wrong in me standing out here and saying, just come to and to kiss me good day, darling, my darling, 'tis all I can say. Just come to and kiss me good day. Give me your lips and don't take them away.
Jean, aren't you going to greet our guest?
Greetings.
Greetings.
Fiona, where have you been? You know I cannot dress without you.
You mean 'tis time for you to dress?
Aye, so come.
You see, I knew we were out far too long.
I know, but I'm not sorry.
Wait for me here. I shan't be but a few minutes.
Good morning, laddie.
Where have you been?
This is pretty nice. You should have seen the apartment I got, complete with a built-in lassie.
Oh! What the hell happened to you?
Thistles.
What?
Never mind, it's a professional secret. Mine will be ready before we leave. And another thing, forget all that nonsense about Scottish frugality. Their generosity is overpowering.
So, how do you feel?
Surprisingly well. How about you?
I've never felt better in my life.
You too.
Maybe the sun gave me the power, for I could swim like Lookman and be home in half an hour. Maybe the air gave me the drive, for I'm all aglow and alive. What a day this has been, what a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There's a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. All the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I would swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. When we walked up the brae,
Not a word did we say. It was almost like being in love. With your arm linked in mine, made the world kind of fine.
it was almost like being in love.
Oh, the music of life seems to be
Like a I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in
Can you gather the heather for me, Tommy?
Right, darling.
Darling.
Thank you, dearie.
All right, when do we head back?
What's the rush? Let's stay for the wedding. I mean, how often do...
What? What's wrong?
I must be feeling a little touched. Listen to this. Married, Elizabeth Lang to Andrew McLaren, July 2nd, 1719.
What's the problem? People used to get married then.
Wait a minute. Children. Fiona McLaren, born October 10th, 1722. Jean McLaren, born April 8th, 1728.
Well,
Fiona is 24 years old and has a younger sister who's 6 years younger named Jean.
well,
Those are the two sisters in this Bible.
nonsense. They're probably just named after them.
Jean's getting married today. Did you know that?
Yeah?
Do you know the fella she's marrying?
Yeah, they told me that at the tavern. Someone named, Dalrymple.
Well, get this. Married, Jean McLaren to Charles McPherson Dalrymple, May 24th, 1746. Wait a minute. No Brigadoon on the map? No phone in the whole town? Thanks to Mr. Somebody for doing something about a miracle? And one or two things I passed over while I was out with Fiona this afternoon.
That hyperthyroid I was with never heard of Haig and Haig.
This doesn't make any sense. I'm starting to feel like a damn fool.
Who cares? If they feel like they need to disregard 200 years of human bing bang, let them.
But I just had the most amazing day of my life. And then something like this comes along? It doesn't make any sense to me.
It does to me. It means baddie people relax you.
She's not baddie. She can't be. Fiona, there must be a logical explanation. Logical enough for you. Fiona!
They don't have to explain anything to me. I don't care.
What, Tommy?
Come here.
Tommy, what is it?
Is this your name here in the Bible?
Aye, but why? Oh.
Someone seems to have loused up your books.
Well, is there an explanation or isn't there?
Aye, that is. But I cannot tell you.
Well, who can? I'd like to know.
You must speak with the Dominie,
The who?
our schoolmaster, Mr. Lundy.
Where does he live?
Down the road, in a tree.
He doesn't live in a tree, Mr. Douglas. Mr. Lundy is a great man. You see, I didn't want you to find out because I was hoping we could have this day together.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's going to be so hard for you to believe. You'll think there's something wrong with us and you'll leave. I know it.
Maybe I will, and maybe I won't. Let's go, Jeff.
Wait, is it informal, or should I wear my three-corn hat?
I said let's go.
Good day, Mr. Lundy.
Oh, why, hello, Fiona. What a pleasant surprise.
Mr. Lundy, I'd like you to meet Mr. Tommy Albright and Mr. Jeff Douglas.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How do you do, sir?
Good afternoon.
Where do you gentlemen come from?
We're from New York.
We're from New York.
Uh-huh.
Yes, New York.
I heard ya.
Mr. Lundy, I was wondering if you'd be good enough to tell these gentlemen about Brigadoon. They've heard and seen a good deal, and they're very perplexed indeed.
Perplexed is right.
I'd very much like him. I mean, them to know.
I would very much like him, I mean them, to know.
Aye, sir.
When you be seated, gentlemen. Are you staying, Fiona?
If I may, I'd love to hear it all again.
Of course.
From what I gather, you're the only one who can talk about the town?
No, that's wrong. Mr. Forsyth could have told you.
Forsyth, I've heard of him, but I haven't met him.
Likely not. I think he's dead.
That would stand in the way, I suppose.
Let me warn you before I begin that what I'm going to tell you, you won't believe.
I've already been warned, but why won't I believe it?
Because what happened in BRIGADOON was a miracle, and most folks don't believe in miracles. Miracles require faith, and faith seems to be as dead as...
Mr. Forsyth.
Aye. Now, if an outsider who chanced to come to BRIGADOON were to hear the tale from the lips of someone in town, he'd think the poor lass or lad was daft, and that would lead to many unpleasant and humiliating situations for the lass or laddie now, wouldn't it?
I suppose so.
I suppose so. So only I can talk about the miracle to strangers.
And you don't believe anyone would think you're crazy?
You might very well, but it wouldn't hurt me. I just pity you. Now, this miracle happened, let's see, what's today?
Friday.
Friday. That means it happened exactly 200 years ago. 200 years ago, the Highlands of Scotland were plagued with witches, wicked sorcerers, who were taking the Scottish folk away from the teachings of God and putting the devil in their souls. They were indeed horrible, destructive women. I don't suppose you have such women in your world.
Witches?
Yes, we still have them. We pronounce it differently.
Uh-huh. Now, they were not real sorcerers, because you and I know there's no such thing. But their influence was very real indeed. Now, here in BRIGADOON, we had an old minister of the kirk named Mr. Forsyth, and a good man he was.
The kindest man in Scotland.
I believe he was. No man ever loved his parish, as did Mr. Forsyth. But he was grown old, and it grieved him to think that one day soon he would be leaving all those so dear to him. But most of all, he worried about the witches. They hadn't come to BRIGADOON yet, but he knew there was a band of them coming our way. And so he began to wonder if there wasn't something he could do to protect the folk of his parish, not only from them, but from all the evils that might come to BRIGADOON from the outside world after he died.
What a kind man.
So he spent many days walking through the glen thinking. And if you had passed his house any hour of the night, you'd have seen the candles lit and Mr. Forsyth sitting in his chair thinking. Then one day he came to me and told me he had decided to ask God for a miracle.
This part's so nice I could cry thinking about it.
He consulted with me about it because he knew I have a highly logical mind. And he figured as long as he was going to ask for a miracle, it might as well be a well-organized miracle. So I spent many days walking through the glen with him, and I spent many nights with him by candlelight. Then finally, one night, Mr. Forsyth decided what he was going to pray for. And on an early Wednesday morning, right after midnight, Mr. Forsyth went out to a hill beyond BRIGADOON and made his prayer to God. There, in the hush of a sleeping world, Mr. Forsyth asked God that night to make BRIGADOON and all the people in it vanish into the Highland mist. Vanish, but not for always. It would all return just as it were for one day every 100 years. The people would go on leading their customary lives, but when they awakened the next day, it would be 100 years later. And when we woke the next day, it was 100 years later.
My God.
You see, in this way, Mr. Forsyth figured there would be no change in the lives of the people. They just wouldn't be in any century long enough to be touched by it.
You mean you go to bed at night, and the next morning is 100 years later?
Aye.
So every day is 100 years later?
Aye.
What happened to the minister?
We never saw him again. You see, he knew that to ask for such a miracle, some sacrifice would have to be made, and he wanted to be the one to make it. Now, what would be the greatest sacrifice that he could offer? It was to be separated before his time from the ones he loved. That's why he went out to a hill beyond BRIGADOON. Were the miracle granted, he would never see BRIGADOON again.
And all of this happened 200 years ago?
Aye, which, you see, is only 2 days ago to us. He had intended to ask for the miracle on Tuesday, but Charles Dalrymple was in Edinburgh in school and was not expected back till Tuesday late. And Mr. Forsyth, not wanting anything to go wrong with the wedding, postponed pray until Charlie got back.
Wasn't that sweet of him?
Let me ask you something. Say somebody gets fed up and wants to leave. Then what?
He cannot leave.
Wait, you mean I've got to stay here now?
No, lad. But according to Mr. Forsyth's contract with God, if anyone of BRIGADOON leaves, the enchantment is broken for all.
And?
That night when the people go to sleep, BRIGADOON will disappear forever.
Look, I'm not saying I believe all this, but for argument's sake, suppose a stranger, like, well, me, came to BRIGADOON and wanted to stay. Could he?
Aye, lad, he could. Mr. Forsyth provided for that.
He didn't miss a trick, did he?
No, lad, he didn't. A stranger can stay if he loves someone here. Not just BRIGADOON, mind you, but if he loves someone enough that he would be willing to give up everything to stay with that one person. Which is how it should be, lad. Because after all, if you love someone deeply, anything's possible.
I think I like that part the best.
Shouldn't you be thinking about changing for the wedding?
Oh, I had. Will I see you at the wedding, Tommy?
Yes, I'll be there.
Thank you.
Hey, I kind of want to stick around and see if this place vanishes like you say.
I must hurry now. Thank you, Mr. Lundy.
She's a dear lass.
I'm finding that out. Tell me, Mr. Lundy, you're all perfectly happy living here in this little town?
Of course, lad. After all, the sunshine can peep through a small hole.
And at night, what is it like?
Well, for me, 'tis like being carried off on shadowy arms to some far-off cloud. And there I float till morning. And yet sometimes, I think I hear strange voices.
Voices?
Aye. They say no words I can remember, but their voices, filled with a fearful longing. And often they seem to be calling me back. I've pondered it when I'm awake, and I think I have a feeling I'm here in the outside world. There must be lots of folks out there who'd like a BRIGADOON. Oh, 'tis the wedding time.
Anderson,
Eaton,
Dalrymple,
McLaren.
There's going to be a wedding. We'll have no minister in BRIGADOON now, and in most villages, this would be a calamitous then. But we know 'tis a blessing. Where there is no minister present, it is perfectly proper, according to the laws of Scotland, for two people to be wed by sincere mutual consent. There need be nothing in writing. All that's necessary is the promise of love, as long as you both are on earth. Go ahead, lad.
I shall love you till I die, and I promise to be a good and loving husband to you.
And so much will I try to be a fine and loving wife.
Well, kiss her, lad. Mr. Forsyth, I know, would have liked to be here. But as long as you both are good and true to each other, there's no way that you cannot live in the grace of God. And Mr. Forsyth would have asked no more than that.
Well, are we married now, Mr. Lundy?
Are we married now, Mr. Lundy? Aye, lad, you're married.
Let go of me. Jean! All I've done is want you too much. I'm leaving Brigadoon. It is the end of all of us. The miracle's over.
I'll go down to the creek, and by God, if I see him, I'll throw him in his search the hill to the peak. Find 'em, lads, or tomorrow will never, never come. Run and get him, run and get him, run and get him now, or ye won't plow another meadow. Go and stop him, go and stop him, run, ye Highland men, or ye won't get another day.
You go right. I'll go left. He can't be too far from here.
If he comes into sight, hold him fast, many lives are depending on it.
This must not end tonight. They must know that tomorrow is really gonna come.
There he is! Over here! There! He's right here!
Lad, say a prayer, I'm afraid Harry Beaton is dead.
Looks like he fell on a rock and it crushed in his head.
Nobody wanted for Harry to be smitten down. All that we wished was to keep him from leaving the town.
Look ye, I understand. There's no sense for us all to be sad about it. This was clear, God's own hand, and we all should be grateful and glad about it.
Though it may be very true what the lad here has said. Don't tell the rest till tomorrow that Beaton is dead.
They'll find he's dead tomorrow. Tell 'em all is right. There should be no more sorrow on this wedding night.
Thanks to heaven, thanks to heaven, thank the Lord above. We all will see another morning. Thanks to heaven, thanks to heaven. Thank and thank again, they'll see another day.
Did he find him, Father?
'Tis all right now. He's been stopped.
Thank heaven. Was he hurt bad?
No, dearie, just scratched a bit. There's no need for grieving now. We must go on with the wedding supper.
Andrew. He didn't get away, Andrew.
No, Archie.
Then where is my son? I want to see him. I thank God you stopped him from his terrible intention, but I want to see him.
It's all right, Archie. He's in good hands. Besides, 'tis best he be left alone for a while. Come join us for a bit of supper.
I'm too ashamed for him, Andrew. I cannot join you.
But Archie...
I've got to find him.
Come everyone, back to the glen for some food and ale. The alarm is over.
But McGuffey, have you seen Tommy?
The American, Fiona? Aye, why no. I didn't think he'd come back with us.
Sorry. Okay, fine.
Fiona!
Tommy! I thought you might have gone.
I couldn't leave.
And you're all right?
Of course I'm all right.
I'd have died if anything had happened to you. I love you so.
You...
Aye.
But how can you be so sure in just one day?
I didn't know. 'Tis just when a lass falls in or out of love. She knows it right away.
I wish my emotions could be that clear to me.
Why?
Because I have a sensation my own secret's being told.
You mean, you think you're in love with me?
Think? What good does thinking do? It wouldn't make any more sense than the miracle. And what I feel is something else.
What do you feel then, Tommy?
This is hard to say, but as I wandered through the lea, I felt for just a fleeting moment that I suddenly was free of being lonely. Then I closed my eyes and saw the very reason why. I saw a man with his head bowed low. His heart had no place to go. I looked and I thought to myself with a sigh, there but for you go I. I saw a man walking by the sea. Alone with the tide was he. I looked and I thought as I watched him go by, there but for you go I. Lonely men around me, trying not to cry, till the day you found me there among them was I saw a man who has never known a love that was all his own. I thought as I thanked all the stars in the sky, there but for you go I.
Tell me, darling.
I love you, Fiona. I guess that's all there is to it.
I've wanted to hear you say it. If only it weren't at the last minute like this.
The last minute,
Aye, soon just the end of our day.
and then you. But I can't be without you, Fiona. Not now, I can't. Wait a minute. Didn't Mr. Lundy say someone could stay here if he loved someone enough?
Aye.
Well, that's for me. Where do I go? Who do I talk to? Where do I get a passport to disappear?
I think we better go see Mr. Lundy.
I can't be without you, Fiona. Not ever. I saw a man who has never known a love that was all his own. I thought as I thanked all the stars in the sky, there but for you go I.
Now if you think this wedding day went just a bit amiss, then I will tell you about a wedding far more daft than this. The lad involved turned out to be no other but my pa, and by the strangest bit of luck the woman was my ma. MacGregor, McKenna, McGowan, McGraw, McVitty, McNeil and McRae, aye, all of the folk in the village were there at my mother's wedding day. For Pa had asked his friend McPhee, and Mac had come with May McGee, and May invited 93 to my mother's wedding day. Then up the road came Ed McKean without the town of Aberdeen.
Why, everyone was on the scene at your mother's wedding day.
At 4:45 everybody was there, a-waiting around in the room. McVicar, McDougal, McDuff and McCoy, everybody but the groom. And as the hours chortled by, the men got feeling kinda dry, and thought they'd take a nip, but I was waiting for the groom. And while the men were dipping and the ladies started on the jet,
And soon the room began to spin as her mother's wedding day.
Then all of a sudden the liquor was gone, the gin and the whiskey and all. And all of a sudden the wedding affair had become a bonny brawl. For Pete McGraw and Joe McPhee began to fight for May McGee and Sam McKee were wooing in the hall. So cold and stiff was John McVeigh, they used him for a serving tray.
Everyone was blind and gay as her mother's wedding day.
Macduff and McVitie were playing a game and using McCoy for the ball. McKenna was eating the bridal bouquet and McNeil hung on the wall. When finally my father came, his eyes were red, his nose aflame. He did not even know his name, he was drunkest of them all. The people were lying all over the room, looking as if they were dead. Then Mother uncovered the minister quick and she told him, go ahead. Then Pa kneeled down on Bill McRae and Mother kneeled on Jacques McKay. The preacher stood on John McVeigh and that's how my ma was wed. It was a sight beyond compare, I ought to know, for I was there.
There never was a day
as my mother's wedding day.
Jeff, I'm not going back with you.
Just for the record, what are you talking about?
I'm staying here.
You're pulling my bonny leg, aren't you?
No. I tell you, Jeff, I feel more part of her and this place than I ever have about Jane or anybody or anything back home.
My dear boy, that's because it's one day, but don't you realize if you stay here, it's for always?
I know.
And you do know how long always is around here, right? It's one hell of a long time.
I know.
This can't be a trial marriage, because you can't change your mind after trying it out for 600 or 700 years.
I won't ever want to.
You're absolutely sure that there'll never come a time when you miss your family, your friends, the life you belong to? How can you know that now?
Because now I know this is where you're going to think I'm crazy, but I believe in her. And what's more, I believe in this place.
You do not. You just want to. This Highland voodoo town makes no more sense to you than it does to me. So how can you believe in it when you don't understand it? When you leave here, in a few weeks, or even in a few days, you'll forget all about it. You won't feel a thing. That's the way a dream is.
What do you mean, a dream?
That's what this is. A dream. Why, even now you're not really moved by it, you just think you are.
But how do you know?
Did you see that funeral here that happened a moment ago?
Yes, why?
I killed him.
You did what?
Harry Beaton. I killed him. Accidentally, of course, but nevertheless, I killed him. Out in the forest tonight, I suddenly saw him rush past me from behind a bush. Without even knowing what I was doing, I stuck out my foot and down he went. And I heard his head hit a rock with a very nasty thud.
My God, Jeff, I'm so sorry.
What for?
You must feel half dead inside.
On the contrary, I don't feel a thing.
You actually don't feel anything.
Nothing, except like going home.
But why don't you?
Because this is a dream! A good one for you and a bad one
wait
for...
a minute!
You see, I've confused you now, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
And if you really believed as much as you thought you do, I couldn't do that. I'll wait for you outside of town.
Tommy, what did he mean by that?
Fiona tells me you want to stay, lad.
Tommy, what is it?
It's no good, Fiona. I can't stay here. And it isn't because I don't love you. I think I do. But I guess I just don't know my own emotions.
You mean you're not sure you can accept everything?
That's about it, I guess.
You'd better hurry, Fiona. There's not much time left. Don't feel ashamed of yourself, Tommy. 'Tis the hardest thing in the world to give everything. Even though 'tis usually the only way to get everything.
Fiona, you won't remember that way, and neither will I. You and the world we knew will glow till my life is through, for you're part of me from this day on. And someday if I should love it's you I'll be dreaming of, for you're all I see from this day on. These hurried hours were all the life we could share. just a prayer that when we are far apart, you'll find something from your heart has gone with me from this day on. You see, you mustn't be sorry about anything.
I'm not. In fact, I shouldn't be surprised if I'm less lonely now than I was before you came. You see, I think real loneliness is not being in love in vain, but not being in love at all.
But it will fade in time.
No, I wouldn't do that. Through all the years to come, and through all the tears to come, I know I'll be yours from this day. 'Tis the end of our day, Tommy.
I'm sorry, Fiona. To stay here, I'd have to have no fears and no doubts. And well, goodbye.
Goodbye, Tommy. And do not forget that every day and every night I will always and always love you. I love you, Tommy. I love you.
What is this, Frank? DDT?
Usual bourbon.
Why do you call it the usual? Have I been drinking it long?
Continuously, since you got back from Scotland 4 months ago.
Well, I just decided I don't like it. It's not near as good as the whiskey Mother used to make. Give me some gin.
What do you have with it?
A little bourbon.
Yes, sir.
What time is it, Frank? I think my watch is stopped.
6:10.
Huh. I better be getting home. Give me another one to take with me, Frank. I like to drink portal to portal.
It's just about time for Miss Ashton, Nicole.
Who?
Jane Ashton, Mr. Albright's fiancée. Don't tell me you don't remember her.
All right, I won't. What about her?
Just about this time every day. She comes in, or calls, or both, looking for Mr. Albright.
She does, eh?
Yes, from what I gather, she can't find him.
Thanks for the warning. I'll drink up and get out of here.
Don't you like Miss Ashton, sir?
Oh, very much. Just not when she's stalking Mr. Albright. I tell you, Frank, scratch the surface of any woman. She'll enjoy it.
But where's Mr. Albright?
I don't know, Frank. He packed up his parcels and vanished. Like BRIGADOON.
Like who?
That was the name of my brother who ran away.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Albright. Nice to see you.
Tommy, my good old friend Tommy.
Hi, Jeff.
It's Tommy. He's back.
Hi, Frank.
Where have you been all month, Tommy?
Up in a farm in New Hampshire.
A farm. Messing around with all that dirty dirt and everything. What were you doing there?
Enjoying myself. A Ryan soda, please, Frank.
If you really like it that much, when you get married, why don't you just buy one?
I wonder if I'm gonna get married.
Oh.
I tell you, Jeff, I can't be with her, so I can't be with anyone else. So many things remind me of her. I'll be out with friends, and they'll say one little word that opens up a memory for me. I'm a few thousand miles away with her. And then I slowly drift back into the conversation. They ask me a question. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I haven't heard a word.
You must be fascinating company.
It's better when I'm alone.
Tommy!
Jane!
What a wonderful surprise.
Hello, Jane!
When did you get back?
Hello, Jeff.
A little while ago.
How've you been, Jane?
I've been worried half to death about you.
Fine, Jeff. How are you?
Let me look at you.
I've had a little cold, but other than that.
I must say you do look wonderful.
So do you, Jane.
Well, I hate to eat and run, but I think I'll go upstairs and have a drink.
I'll see you later, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Goodbye. Put it on the bill, Frank.
Your bill, sir, is awfully high.
So am I.
Tommy, why didn't you write me?
Nothing to say, I guess. Drink?
Old-fashioned, please. And why didn't you wire me we're coming in? After all, darling, I did think the minute you'd get back, you'd call me, or come to me, or in fact, why didn't you?
To me, bend to me, kiss me goodly, darling, my darling, 'tis all I can say is come to me, bend to me, kiss me goodly, give me your loves, and don't take them away.
And I didn't think you'd want to do that, would you?
Oh, why, maybe.
You mean you'd even consider it?
Consider what?
Commuting from 60 miles out of New York?
Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
I didn't think so. And I told Mr. Jackson.
Who?
Herbert Jackson?
Oh! Who's that?
I just told you. He's the real estate man I've been working with. I told him you'd call him.
I can hardly wait.
Please do. I'm trying so hard to arrange everything. Do you still want Jeff to stand up for you?
Yes. If he can. Why?
Nothing. It's just that he's been so impossible these days. Everybody is bored to death with him.
I'm not interested in everybody, especially the everybody that we know.
You've certainly been antisocial since you returned from Scotland. If you really want to avoid everybody, why don't we take Mr. Jackson's house? It's far away and right on top of a high, beautiful hill.
Heather on the hill, when the mist is in the gloaming, and all the clouds are holding still. If you're not there, I won't go roaming through the heather on the hill. The heather on the...
No, Jane, no.
No, what?
There's going to be no wedding next month.
You mean you're postponing it again?
I'm not postponing it. I'm calling it off for good.
Calling it off?
I can't go through with it ever.
You have a nerve. After all this time I've waited for you and tried to be patient and put up with your idiotic whims and temperament.
I'm sorry. It's not your fault. You've been wonderfully kind to me, but something happened to me a few months ago that I can't explain, and now I don't fit here anymore.
I think you're going clean out of your mind, but I refuse to stand here and argue with you. In this bar. Ahem. And if you think anyone else is going to put up with your nonsense, you're raving mad. So think that over, Mr. Albright, when you're all alone.
I think real loneliness is not being in love in vain, but not being in love at all.
You understood, Fiona? I didn't.
You walking through the heather when we were there together. That's all I'll see from this day on.
You were right. It never faded. These hurried hours where all the life we could 32, please. Jeff, are you sober? Good. I want to go back to Scotland. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. Well, do you want to come with me or not? Good. Then get a plane reservation and fast. I know it isn't there, but I want to see for myself. I don't care if it doesn't make sense. I want to go. Do you hear me? I want to go. I said I want to go. To think that somewhere out here, between the mist and the stars, there's a girl I want so badly. She's not dead. She's only sleeping. And yet I'll never see her again.
Wait. Did you come all the way out here just to say that? You could have told me that on the phone. In New York. For a nickel.
No. I tell you, Jeff, she became so real to me that had to come back and see for myself that the place was never really there.
Didn't work that way for me. So much like a dream to me now that I had to work hard to convince myself that it happened at all.
There's a big difference between us.
Tell me about it.
I found that sometimes what you believe in becomes more real to you than all the things you can explain away or understand. God, why do people have to lose things to find out what they mean?
Take a last look and let's head back. Got lost around here once.
Lonely men around me, trying not to cry, till the day you found me there among them was
I saw a man who had never known a love that was all his own.
I thought as I thanked all the stars in the sky, there but for you
Tommy, lad. My, you must really love her. You woke me up. You shouldn't be too surprised, lad. After all, I told you, if you love someone deeply, anything is possible, even miracles. Come, lad.